Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Open Minded. Today we talk about moving out and growing up. We go into topics such as becoming independent, being accountable for your actions, and finding a system that works for you. We hope that you enjoy this and find some value from this episode. Ready?
Let's go, G.
Cool. All right, so we're going to talk a bit about moving out, growing up, becoming independent,
Mm-hmm.
what that process is like, how that looked for us, and just stuff that we've learned along the way.
Yeah. Shall I start? Should we go? Should we go in with sort of my story of moving out, or
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah? Well, I was living with my dad. I lived with my dad for about fucking, don't know, 10 years, maybe more.
Mm.
And it just you know what it's like when you live with your parents. You just get fucking on top of each other, and you start. We've talked about this before, but like when with your parents, they try telling you what to do, and it's like, bro, that's just not the way it works no more. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I get it. Like, it's my house. I want, like, you need to
My rules.
Yeah, my rules at the end of the day. But obviously, when it's like a man-to-man thing, it kind of clashes. Where it's like, bro, you can't tell me what to do no more.
I think when you're in his house,
yeah,
he can tell you what to do.
Yeah.
He expects you to do what he tells you to do.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But when you're out of the house, it's one man and another man. It's not like he's always going to look at you like a child, his child. But it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
When you're independent, he can't tell you what to do.
Oh yeah, and he hasn't since, really. But it was just obviously I was living with him, and I was being a little bastard, and well, no, I wasn't really being a little bastard, but he just wanted a better life for me than what I was living.
Yeah.
But I just was like, I need to leave. I just packed my bags, went to my mum's, and she was like, just let me live there rent free. I saved up, paid my car insurance, and then got a flat. And I've been living there for about a year now. And yeah, for me, it's just like, why didn't I do this before? Because you just grow up, don't you? Like you have to grow up, and it just puts you in that situation where it's like I would still be doing the same thing now if I was living with my dad. I wouldn't have got any better. Do you know what I mean?
See, this is where ours are a bit different, and that last point you make is good, right? It kind of leads on from what I'm about to say, right?
Yeah.
So I think people should leave their house like when they're getting dragged out.
Yeah.
Like stay there as long as you can and save money, and
if
you can afford to take risks. If you can do that, yeah, like why not? And the way I look at it is, how much would I have saved just in rent if I lived at home still by now?
But you wouldn't have the lessons, because
this is exactly what I'm saying. You
just take the piss. Like
you'd still be doing the same shit. You would be taking the piss, and that's the difference. And that's actually, this is something that I got on my notes, is that you have to go through it to learn it.
Yeah.
You have to do that. You have to make that jump. It's like jump and grow your wings on the way down. The thing is, I love when I see like 18-year-olds now, and I think there's no way we look like them. There's no way.
That is weird, because obviously when you're looking at birds when you're 18, and you're like, oh yeah, fit, whatever. But then you get to like this sort of age, and you're thinking, God, she looks fucking young. Like, what's going on there? You can tell when a bird's 18, innit? Like, but you look like way younger than what I thought 18-year-olds used to look like.
I know. Yeah. I don't know if there's been a change in
like,
18-year-olds now.
Then I think about if the way my like parents look at me, or someone older, and I think, you must think I'm like a baby. Like,
I know. And you think of what people just who are 30 or 5-6 years older than us look at us at our age, the same way that we look at people who are 5-6 years younger than us. And I remember just how I felt when I was 18, and I think everyone has this same feeling of what they thought they knew when they turned 18, and how like confident they felt in what they know. And I feel like life just showed me that
You don't know fuck
you don't
all.
know anything. I'm gonna show you
Yeah.
who the real daddy
yeah.
is. And it did.
Yeah.
It fucking
I
really
think
did.
the biggest that is the lesson in it. It's like it's life shows you that you don't know anything and you're never gonna know anything.
Well, the thing that life really shows you, yeah, is that whenever you think you know
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
doing,
You don't
it's
know a
gonna
fuck,
show you
yeah.
you don't.
And like, oh, that's another fucked up thing. Like when you think you like look up to your parents your whole life, and then or you look up to someone your whole life and whatever, and then you get to this age and you find out that they ain't got a fucking clue.
They haven't got a clue either. No, that's
You're like, well, I'm fucked then.
yeah. That's we were talking about that the other day, weren't we?
Mm,
That is an interesting thing that no one actually knows what they're doing. They're just winging it.
yeah. Like all your parents, all they did was just wing it. Like with
They
you,
winged it as
they
well.
they didn't have a fucking clue what they doing.
Yeah, there was no handbook.
No. Well, there might have been a handbook, but the fact that they had to read a handbook, like,
The thing about this handbook, though, is along the point of you have to go through it to learn it. I feel like even if someone said to you, say you're 18, you still live at home, and someone says to you, you could move out, but you're going to spend 9-10 grand a year on rent, and you could save 40 grand in the next 4 years if you just didn't pay that, and then you can put a deposit on a house, and then you can own a house when you move out. I feel like that sounds great. It's a really nice ideal. Not only did most people's situations not warrant that, like most people are getting kicked out, they're getting in trouble, or they're having arguments and they need to leave way before that. They get the opportunity to do that. But even if you got told that nice idea of if you save all your money, you'll be able to do this, until you actually move out and go through that and learn that lesson yourself, it's never really going to stick.
yeah.
There were so many things that I felt like I learned that I had to go through it to learn it.
Yeah. That comes back to like when you get there, when you get at the top, like if you never had those mistakes, you could just so easily just fuck it all up.
Well, this is I was talking to someone about this the other day as well. So there's this idea of, I think I spoke to you about it. Like there's this Instagram account that shows, like it visualizes certain concepts and it uses a graph to show what luck looks like versus hard work or consistency. I think it's
Like a slow, gradual.
So like luck is like flat and then it's a blip and then it's flat again, and consistency is like a slow upward trend. And understanding what happened and how you got to where you are is a really important lesson to learn, because I had good luck. It went like that and then it went flat, and then from going flat it's gone up like that. So like if you looked at my chart, it go flat, blip, and then up.
Yeah.
But a long flat after that blip. Right? Because it took a long time to work out that was luck, and that I actually have to make incremental gains and like that 1% every day to actually grow and build something decent.
And learn.
No one told me that shit.
Yeah.
I feel like I think you kind of mentioned it last time. Like, why did no one sit you down and just say, by the way, it's gonna get peak? Like,
bruv, like you need to like buckle up on it because it's about to get mad.
It's about to get bumpy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What have you found the bumpiest of living on your own?
Oh, living on my own.
What's been that?
Keeping up with everything, like not realizing, you just go into it a bit blasé, and then you realize, oh, I've got to set up this, I've got to set up my water bill, I've got to set up that. Like I literally only just set up my water bill
after a year.
Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, you asked like 3.5 bills. Yeah, it's just, but For me, it's a lot. There's a lot more positive than negatives with
100%.
with moving out. Even though you're paying more, like it still outweighs it because it's your own place. Like when I go home, I know that no one's gonna be there. Like you know how blessed that is.
Mm.
Like I've got some my certain things everywhere, and I know that nothing's gonna be moved when I get back. And um, I've got my little routine, and everything's me. Uh, and knowing that like that's the responsibility that I have, that if I don't go home and do my washing, no one else is going to do that for me. And it's kind of like it's good because it gets you in that positive mindset of like this is all me and I'm making this work. So from it's hard to really say which one is obviously the money side of things is, but once you get that down, it's not as hard.
Mm.
You cut back. Learning to cut back is a major thing, isn't it?
Definitely.
But yeah, what about you? What's your major thing about living alone?
You take for granted all the things that are done for you when you're younger.
Mm.
You don't see the washing, the food, the preparation, the going to the shop,
The going to work and then doing all that
and
afterwards.
doing all that alongside going to work. And
Yeah, that's facts.
you don't,
It makes you appreciate your parents more.
100%, you can be more appreciative of what was done for you before. For me, it was like finding a routine that worked and finding out what worked for me and
It's hard to
making
get there,
those
isn't it?
mistakes.
Mm.
But I feel like I'm saying, you have to go through it to learn it.
Mm. And it's one step at a time as well. You can't think that you can just do everything at once. Just like get on one thing at a time. Try and get that. All right, then the next one, then the next one. Otherwise, you just overload yourself and you end up getting nothing done.
One big thing for me that it's kind of been on my mind again recently is that it's all right to not have everything figured out now. It's all right to never have everything figured out.
Yeah, you're never gonna have everything figured out. You just got to work towards trying to get there.
We got to reach some point where just things are comfortable.
Mm.
Beyond being comfortable and having good friends and good people around you and having somewhere to sleep, having something to eat, what more can you really ask for? Like,
Yeah,
what more can you really ask for other than that?
I did hear something the other day. It was like you the biggest goal in life is to like live as stress free as possible.
That's what I mean when I say like a routine, because a routine in my mind is like that certain aspects of the things you need to do are automated to an extent that you don't have to think about it every time you do it. If you know that on a Wednesday you wash your clothes, you don't have to think about when you're washing your clothes. It's just like, all right, it's Wednesday, do this. It's automated, like you do it, but
It's not.
you don't really have to think about it. I feel like when I had
like
to
your
think about everything, I had like this analysis paralysis where I'd walk into a supermarket and not pick anything up for 15, 20 minutes. And then be so like pissed off that I've done it again that I've just left the shop. Because I used to walk in there and just be like paralyzed by choice. Whereas if you walk in there with a list, you just walk around, pick it up and walk back out. Obviously,
you had like a mental block against.
I had some mental block against
buying.
What food do I buy? But at the time, I couldn't really cook. I didn't really have any experience cooking. So I'd look at the meat and
you
I'd
didn't
be
really
like,
eat anything.
What the hell am I meant to fucking do with that? I remember like getting a chicken and having to ask someone, how do I cut this out? Like, what do you do with it? I'd never cooked chicken in my life. Mate, when I moved out, my fridge was unplugged like for a year.
What?
I never plugged it in. It was a new build. I moved into a new flat. I didn't even plug the fridge in.
What, so nothing was ever cold?
Nothing was ever in it.
Oh.
I didn't eat at home for a year.
Oh, okay. Oh, what? That thingy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The fridge wasn't on.
Was it not?
Never.
So you never had milk or nothing?
Never.
I swear you had milk.
Bruv, I may have had milk after a few months, yeah. Like, but I didn't buy food. I think the most I ever had.
We would always be in the coffee shop.
I'd go to cafes and
Yeah.
I'd spend 700-800 quid a month on fucking food.
You always had the wad.
Yeah,
The wad just fucking food.
ready to pay for
Yeah.
everything. This is the thing.
The tab.
Yeah, I always had the tab. Mate, I don't know if it was a year, but for a long time in that flat,
Yeah.
the fridge was not even plugged in. Like,
Mm.
the manual was inside it, and the fridge door was like slightly open and shit. And like the most I ever bought food wise there was like ready meals and milk and shit. And I just had ready meals, like and tea and whatever. The only thing I think I ever cooked there was like making a bolognese with someone else.
Mm.
And that was it. Trash the kitchen and then just never fucking use it again.
Yeah.
So, but this kind of comes onto food.
Mm.
Getting organized with your food.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like, unless you're some sort of fucking superhuman, you need to be doing your meal preps on a Sunday or some day that you've got free, and then just coming home and getting out of the free. If you do like a long job or whatever, do long hours, you can't be coming home because you're just gonna fucking fuck yourself out.
Bro, when I lived in that first flat I moved into, right? I lived there for 2 years. I didn't even have curtains.
What?
I didn't even put curtains
Did
up.
you not?
I didn't do.
Oh yeah.
I had no curtains.
What about in your room?
None.
What?
I didn't have curtains.
So
or
people
blinds.
just could look in.
You couldn't really see in there.
Ah.
It was higher up,
But you must have been waking up in the morning like, oh,
every day
Yeah.
for 2 years. I was that unorganized that nothing was in there. There was no food in the fridge. There was nothing in the cupboards. I went out and bought like a full cutlery set, pots and pans, plates.
Didn't use any of it.
Hardly used any of it.
That was a nice little flat as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a nice flat.
Fucking
But
expensive though, wasn't
it
it?
wasn't homely. It wasn't
Yeah.
like I didn't have a rug. I didn't have like a bedside table. I didn't have anything nice. I bought like the shittest, cheapest bed.
Mm.
I bought like my bed and mattress cost like 35 quid or something.
Fucking hell.
It was something ridiculous. Like it was a new mattress, but they only wanted 20 quid for it, and then they had a bed frame did it for 15 quid.
Jeez.
So it was like the shittest bed. This is the other. So like from there, like it just showed me how unorganized I was. And I remember when I moved in with my friend Josh. Yeah, I'd come back from Italy. I'd been traveling for like 2 months. Came back. I didn't have very much money left, and I went out and bought bedding. And I spent like 60 quid on Argos. And I thought I had a quilt. I didn't have like any more money except enough to get me food. And I got back, and the blanket, is it in here? The blanket, right? If I had it to my feet, it would only come up to just on my chest.
Oh no.
And I slept with that for a year.
What?
Literally a year, mate. I don't know why. I just never got around to fucking getting another quilt. And then when I changed bedrooms in the house because someone moved out. And I went out and I bought like a 40 quid quilt, and I bought like new pillows and just got a whole new bedding set. And I remember sleeping that night like unreal. I remember waking up in the morning like, is this what other people sleep like? If I'd been sleeping like this for the last year,
Yeah, I would have been so stressed.
I may have not been so fucking like angry and pissed off all the time.
That does come on to like investing in yourself. Investing in
Look after yourself.
Yeah.
The analogy I think of, right, is there was this guy always in the pool. Like I'd always see him in the gym when I used to just go there to go swimming. And whenever I'd come back in the changing rooms, he'd be there with like these creams, like rubbing them into his feet. I'd seen him like 4 or 5 times, and I was just like,
"What are you, man?
What are you doing?
What are you up to, mate? Fucking hell!
What are you doing?" And he was like, he said something like, "Look after your feet, mate. You only get 2, or you only get 1 eat. Like,
Yeah,
so you only get 1 foot.
on
to
either side.
yeah, I can't remember if he said you only get 2 feet,
Yeah.
but he's basically like, you only get 2 feet. Look after him. No one's gonna give you another foot. You can't get another foot. You have to look after this one. And I remember thinking then, like, you need to look after yourself. Like, look after your hand. Don't, people do jobs that by the time they're 35, 40, their hands are fucked. And they start getting arthritis or they get problems with their bones. And just look after yourself. Like, even how you sit. Like,
Yeah,
if you're sat for an hour, like, just make sure you sat up. But I'd never bought moisturizer. I can't think of all the things, but
it's all well and proper, like saying things like that. But you need to be in like a certain place for you to be able to worry about your feet.
this is the other thing as well, is you need to have ticked off those other boxes before you can start like thinking about, I need to look after myself. And this was the thing. And I didn't look after myself for a long time. I remember I've looked at pictures of myself and I just think, fucking hell, mate. And you think, how do people let themselves go like that? It's very easy.
Yeah, it is.
It's very easy.
You just get complacent and
like just living in like a. Well, if you get lazy like that, I think there's times where I didn't cut my hair for like 9 months because I couldn't afford a haircut. I'd probably stank half the time. People, like, you see people and like their breath always stinks. They don't really brush their teeth. Brushing your teeth and going to a hygienist and seeing a chiropractor. Like, you need to MOT yourself regularly. Like, you need. Like, now I go to sauna and steam room 5 times a week. Go in a jacuzzi, work out, wash every day, brush my teeth twice a day, floss, this, that, and the other, moisturize. Until the other parts of your life are like automated and you do that like clockwork. That's a lot of things to kind of get around to doing.
Yeah. For me, that's like one thing I've been struggling with because I've got this like thing and I write down every day in my notepad what my goal is, and it's like, and when I get, I think when I get to that point, then I'll do all this stuff, and I feel like that's the wrong thing because what if that goal doesn't come till next year, and then I'm stuck, fat as fuck, fucking haven't looked after myself.
I think looking after yourself
it should be the number
priority.
one.
Definitely.
It's just when you're putting so much thought into one thing. Like I was listening to a podcast and Mr. Beast, you know Mr. Beast. He's just talking about laser focus. He's like, when you put your everything into one thing, you will make it happen. And that's what I've been trying to do. I've just been trying to laser focus on one thing, and then everything will come afterwards. But I think it doesn't really work in that aspect. You need to be looking after yourself and then having that laser focus as well. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a balance between.
You need to make sure your kind of needs are satisfied first.
Like your friend who, was it Josh? Who Ronga chatted you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, about the sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, people don't realize how much your sleep actually affects your whole life.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be getting the right sleep. Otherwise, you could only be putting in like 10% of your best, but you're sleeping for less. So, like, if you were to sleep for more, you'd be putting in fucking 80, 100%. But you're awake for a less period of time, but you're putting in 100%.
Yeah,
so you're putting in more effective in your work.
Yeah, okay. Sleep is really important. I remember that first couple of years of living on my own, I was awake. I used to just go and sit on the balcony or in the garden or whatever and just smoke like 30 fags and be awake till 4 o'clock in the morning, wake up at 3 o'clock. And
a lifetime ago for me.
Oh man, I used to smoke so many fags.
I used to love it. I used
to always have a fag in my mouth.
Yeah, you used to be rolling
cigs just left and right. It's a disgusting habit as well.
And it's like, what is the point? It's like, you literally you're not getting anything out of this.
Nothing.
All it's doing is making you more stressed.
I had to stop smoking. That was ridiculous.
So much money as well. I think I've saved about $8,000 or something like that.
Just from not smoking.
Yeah.
Fucking I dread to think what it would be. Man, my brother spends...
I used to smoke.
He spends like 30 quid a day on fags.
30 quid a day?
Yeah, 20, 30 quid a day.
What, 2 packs?
Yeah, he goes through 40 fags easily.
40 packs?
He goes through
40 fags?
He goes through 40 fags easily a day.
Oh my God, he must be chaining them.
Mate, every opportunity. If he wakes up, he smokes a fag. If he eats a meal, he smokes a fag. If he leaves the house, he smokes a fag. If he gets back to the house, he smokes a fag. If he fucking gets in a car, he lights a fag. Leaves a restaurant, lights a fag. Goes in a shop and comes back out, lights a fag. Like, no matter what, and this is where
the occasion is like the habit of when I get to this.
That's the thing. It's not actually the purpose of it is not the smoking. It's just become a habit of after everything, have a fag. Go to the gym. He can't wait to get outside and have a fag.
I used to do that as well. I used to go to the gym and smoke. I'm smoking outside. What are you doing? Why even bother?
When you stop smoking, your level of fitness and your smell and taste and everything is fucking completely different.
And it absolutely reeks on your clothes as well.
Oh my God, the smell. I had to get every one of my jackets dry cleaned. All my jumpers, everything had to get dry cleaned. That was when I stopped smoking, I started getting stuff dry cleaned and I started cooking. When my smell and taste and everything came back, I like started to love food and I started to really like enjoy cooking stuff from scratch. That was it was a good pastime as well because I always felt like, what am I going to do when I stop smoking? I spend one of the reasons I wanted to stop is the amount of time I was spending doing it.
But then there's another thing of like, what do I do with that time?
Well, this was what I thought. What am I going to do with that time? And I've been busy ever since.
Yeah.
And I thought the same thing when I stopped drinking. What am I going to do with all these Friday nights? And I've been busy ever since. I've not like I say, I've been busy ever since. Obviously, I've had times where I'm like just chilling. But I'm either 100% on or 100% off. I don't like being in between. And this is what I didn't really organize in my first couple of years of living on my own was I felt like where I was doing freelance web design and stuff that I was always open and I never like set the tone with people properly to say I'm only working from 9 until 6 because I was never personally structured and organized enough in the times that I worked. I would just work when I woke up and felt like it. So I never set the tone with people to say like I'm only available between 9 o'clock and 6 o'clock Monday to Friday. So at any point people would just kind of expect me to be around, and that was a problem. Just because I felt like I never turned off. I was never, having like one place where you do your work and then another place where you do something else.
Yeah. So instead of doing it all in one place,
like when I lived in
separate it.
Yeah. So when I lived in the last place where it was just like a studio, it's like a really small room, everything's in one room. I never wanted to do work in there because it was like where I chilled. So if I wanted to do any work, I almost like had to go out. I had to go to a cafe.
You couldn't do it at home.
I couldn't sit at my desk and just do it. Like
See,
that.
I felt like that. Like for what until I found something that I absolutely love to do. I couldn't sit at my desk. You know what I mean? But now we've found this thing that we love to do. I could sit in my room all day.
Yeah, no problem.
Like I could just sit and do work all day if that was my job. But we go on to you are accountable.
Oh mate, being accountable it's a difficult thing to grasp at the beginning, but it is ultimately the best way to be is to be accountable. Because It's all on you.
That's just that, but that I think that comes with moving out. Obviously, when you're by yourself, the only person you can hold accountable is yourself.
Yeah, but you're never blaming other people. There's
Yeah.
no, oh, he said this, she said this, they done this. This example, actually, Gary Vee is someone that talks about accountability a lot. And he put a post up where it's like two scenarios where there's like a sales manager or something talking to the team, looking at the chart. The chart of sales has gone right down. And like the top one is this guy getting really angry, being like, you fucking idiots, what the fuck what did you do? And then the second scenario is Gary Vee talking, saying, this is on me, guys, let's work out what we did here. Let's work out what happened here and try and make improvements. That's the thing with accountability. It's accountability to me, in my mind, is not hiding from what's happened and just facing it head on.
And not feeling like embarrassed about it, or like, okay, yeah, I've done this now, and how do I fix this?
Yeah, not to feel down about it.
Yeah.
Just understand what happened and work out what you can do to do it better next time.
Yeah.
And just making those incremental changes and learning over time and just making things better bit by bit. If you just fucking wait around for someone to sort shit out for you,
Yeah.
it's never going to get done.
Yeah.
You have to fucking understand what needs to happen and just make it happen. Simple.
100%.
But it's not passing the blame. Very easily you can pass the blame onto other people, like your parents, and say, oh, they
You're
did
not
this to
doing
me.
this. Oh, yeah.
Like, they're the reason for this, they're the reason for that. And I think for me, learning more about my dad and spending time with him as an adult was important, because now I understand, like, yeah, I could blame him, but it doesn't actually help at
Yeah,
all.
it doesn't help anything. It's just, what helps is understanding where you come from, why things are the way they are, and then growing from that and realizing, how do I change from this?
This is something I really like, is that effective communication is like one aspect of being accountable. Because I was talking to Jed and he was saying that he was like, everyone's expecting too much of me. And I just said, no one's expecting anything of you. If you just communicate what's going on and you say, look, I can't actually deal with this today because I'm focused on this. Come back to me and speak to me about it tomorrow. So, okay, fine. Then what do I expect? Nothing. I expect that tomorrow we're going to talk about it, but it's because you've communicated that to me. And then accountability is like being honest and communicating and actually facing things head on and not burying your head, because that is a big problem, especially when you're dealing with money and it's a new concept. Like, you can think you fucking good at business and good at handling money, like, move out and live on your own and fucking run a business. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to suck it up a lot of times and go get a job, or not go out with your friends because you can't afford to, because you need to put your money somewhere else.
It's spoken to like shit, or
Yeah, and spoken to like a dickhead by a
Yeah.
customer, and like have to do work that you don't really know how to do or you don't enjoy doing. And, you know, that's all things that when I feel like when you, just in general, people will, if they have to do a task over and over, they'll find out the easiest way of doing it, or they'll work out the path of least resistance to doing it. And for me, dealing with money and dealing with people and stuff is just be clear in the way you communicate with people. Don't leave anything to be misunderstood. Just say it exactly how it is. Don't be shy. And as well, to just face things head on. If you have a problem with someone, just deal with it now.
Yeah.
Don't let it become something that
And then
you're gonna leave.
Fucking builds on top of each other, and then
just literally deal with it now. Like,
and then you burst as well. You don't handle things in a nice way. Everything just becomes like whoa, and nothing comes out right.
that's just not a way to deal with things. There's obviously a difference between letting things play out and seeing how it works out to try and act accordingly, as opposed to just not saying something or not dealing with something for whatever reason and then letting it build up in a negative way so that it does burst and it's not good.
Sometimes you do just, like the other day, because it reminds me of the other day when you were like, oh, do you want to come around for food? And then I just told like a white lie, sort of, that I was going to my mum's or whatever. And I wasn't going to my mum's. I was just like, I just was in a shit place in my head, and I was just like, I need to be alone. Like, I can't be around anyone right now.
What? I didn't really ask you, but why did you not think that you could say that?
Because
what in your mind?
It was like, I don't want to let you down because I've already said that I'm already going to come.
Yeah, but this is the thing. I hate when people say, like, you said this, you said that, and it's like, yeah, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
You said you were going to do this. It's like,
yeah.
And?
Yeah.
I changed my mind. Like, it's good to be accountable, like, that you're trustworthy in what you say.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to change your mind.
Yeah,
If you say, yeah, I'm coming around for dinner, and then you say, like, you kind of didn't actually feel like that, so 5 minutes later you ring me back and say, actually, mate, I'm not going to do that tonight. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
I could have probably not fucking cooked all that food.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Go to waste if you fucking rang me back.
Yeah. No, as soon as I thought I need to message him because he's going to be cooking food.
Yeah, I cooked a shitload of food. You missed out.
Yeah, I bet it was lovely as well.
Lovely, mate. Cook the dunderini.
Yeah. It's just when you're in that headspace, it's just like you just don't. I don't know. I'm not thinking straight, and then the next day I'm like, oh yeah, bruv, I was chatting shit. Like, you know what I mean? But some people just let that fucking go on for time, or just build on that lie or whatever. And sometimes something just comes out, and I'm just thinking,
yeah. But at the end of the day, you realise that the right thing to say was like what you said the next day, and you said, actually, I just wanted to be on my own. Like, that is the right thing, in my opinion, is to just say, like, being honest and being able to be honest about.
And even after you've lied, be honest, like the next day or something. If you feel
being honest is the best feeling.
Yeah.
Being able to be honest about what you're doing and the type of person you are.
But we're just people at the end of the day. Sometimes we do just a bit of shit just comes out of our mouths, and we're like, why did I just say that? Or in the moment, a quick lie, you form a quick lie or something, and it's okay to be like, oh, I was chatting shit. Like, fucking, I don't know why I said that. You know what I mean? Because we've had it before where we're talking, and then you're like, why the fuck did I just say that? It's just we're humans, and it's just natural.
Sometimes it happens now, yeah.
What are we going on to?
I don't know, we've touched on some good points. I think number 10.
Finding a system that works for you through trial and error.
It's the only way you're going to find out.
You have to just fucking take the risk and
just take it head on.
And just smash it. Like, what is the worst that can happen? Especially if you've got...
That's what I actually always think, what's the worst that could happen? Say if I'm driving and I'm like, well, I mean, speeding's not a great example because you could hit someone. But say, like, I think about that and say, like, driving a bit reckless, a bit sporty, spirited, should I say, yeah. Other than someone dying.
You just chose the worst.
The worst thing that could happen other than that is, like, you lose your license. And that's not that bad. Like, forget that someone could die. Like,
you just chose the worst.
Everyone in the car. Like, yeah, it's not a great example. Like, yeah, it's a shit example.
what is a good example?
Well, the worst thing that can happen is you fucking get left on the street with no food.
But if you've got
Or you
parents to
die.
fall back on,
Huh?
if you've got parents to fall back on, and
Most people don't.
Yeah.
This is like what we were saying, what failure would look like to us. If I fail now, yeah, that's it.
Mm.
I'm done. I'm literally like moving onto London Road and begging for change.
Mm.
Yeah.
Excuse me, got any spare change I can have?
Probably make a few quid as well. As long as you didn't spend it on shit, you'd probably be alright.
But yeah, no, that is where I'm fucking lucky. Because if I fuck up, I do have my parents to go back to.
But this is where I feel like when the safety net is taken away from you, you'll develop a lot differently to someone than someone who has a safety net.
Yeah. That's why, like you're so fucking on it with your finances. You got spreadsheets and stuff, and for me, like I would like to be in that position, but it's not like a thing for me because I always have that in the back of my mind that if I fuck up, then I will be going somewhere. But you don't have that. That's why you're like that.
I know that. Yeah, that is like that. Like I have to be really organized with my money because if I spend it all, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent, and I am going to live on London Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like that about money and about organizing it, is because that is like the first step in getting what you want. If you're interacting in this economy with landlords and the food, if you pay for where you live and you pay for the fucking food and water you consume, you need money to do it. And to have money, you need to earn it and not spend it all. Right? So that's like being organized. But I don't want to just live to earn money to spend it out, because I've lived like that. And like, you can have a really high standard of living, but if it costs all of your money to do that, it doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
Like this idea of I'd rather be crying in a Ferrari. Mate, if you got a Ferrari, what are you crying for?
Yeah.
Like the only reason you're crying in a Ferrari is if you can't actually afford it and you've overextended yourself.
Yeah.
So becoming organized with your money it's one of the best things. It's like a big freedom. It's a big step towards feeling free, because
it organizes your brain as well. Because like you don't have to actually think about where this is going, where that's going, because you've already sorted it out.
I've made a routine.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying about like automating parts of your life and like understanding when you do it and what you do. But the thing is to build up that kind of toolkit of skills, of having the experience or capability to respond to certain situations. To get that, you have to go through difficult situations and feel lost and feel like, you know, and I've even been thinking about this recently, like I'm not as like hungry as I used to be. Like I am in different ways and I want to progress things in different ways. But the way that I haven't been like standing on corners and giving out flyers every time I'm awake, it just kind of shows that like I am a bit comfortable and I do need to challenge myself a bit. Like pattern up is one way, but like the only way for me to do that is to face a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm not really scared by challenges now. Like I was before I knew how I'd react to things and how I'd deal with things. But I feel like I react quite well to most challenges.
Yeah, because you've been through it so many times.
Because I've been through like a lot of different challenges. So I need to challenge myself more.
100%.
Like if I'm being honest, I need to.
Yeah.
I need to make myself more hungry. I need to set a bigger goal. I need to.
We've talked about this podcast. This was like the next challenge.
Yeah.
It was like, we are not very good. Well, I felt like I wasn't that great at talking, and I was like, or whatever. And I wanted to get better, and learn new. I feel like just there's something with long form conversation which you just learn and become more confident in yourself. And like that was what I wanted from it. It's like, and also putting myself out there, like not giving a fuck about what other people think. Like that to me, like that's a massive challenge for me because I care about what like I just do, and I think until you do stuff, small things like this, you do kind of care. Well, it's obviously different for different people, but um, I will have anxiety when this goes out, and
I don't think you need to feel anxious about this,
no,
mate.
I
This has
don't.
been well. I tell you now, that camera didn't record properly,
Oh, okay.
right? So don't worry about how you look because the fucking camera wasn't recording. I don't know why,
No,
but
it's not. But
this
I feel so much better now. We've like sat down and done it all the time. Done a good few episodes, and we've got good equipment, and we actually it flows and
mate, the
it
flow
feels
of this conversation was like
it feels good.
unreal.
It feels good, but still, I will think in my mind, what did I say? Did I say anything embarrassing then? Or
See, I was actually thinking about this last time. Is along the lines of I was listening to myself and I said a couple of things and I was like, I just sound like a dick
I
saying
know,
that.
but I need to get. That's the one thing that I need to put that out and be like, I don't give a fuck if I said anything embarrassing.
The thing, I think I've moved past the point of maybe feeling embarrassed, and now I'm thinking of it in terms of I need to be more conscious of what I'm saying and how it can be interpreted and more careful with how you speak.
But people will interpret things in
I
whatever
understand
way.
that.
But you want to try your hardest to try and be more conscious or
Yeah,
try and portray things in. But it's so hard
to
to.
be fair and not be, you know, I don't know, to just try and
But that's another thing. Like this is what people don't understand until you actually sit in the chair and do it for yourself. You're just talking, and
yeah.
you will say things that you don't actually mean, and everything's just coming off the top of your head. Yeah, we've got this, and we've got different notes and stuff, but you are just talking off the top of your head, and you are gonna. You're just trying to talk. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to put things across in the best way you can.
Yeah.
So it's all just a learning process, and you will get there in the end. But even like it's just look around you at other people who do podcasts. They get taken out of context all the time. So it's like, yeah, you strive towards that, but I don't think you're ever gonna really get there. Can I get what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you can only do your best, can't you? It's like we're
Exactly.
saying, you're only human.
Mm.
And this is a quite an important thing for I think we kind of said at the beginning that feeling okay that things aren't all worked out.
Mm.
The other point I would add to that is to not be too harsh on yourself and be a bit forgiving of mistakes that you make and understand that there will be mistakes and that the only try and I don't know where I heard this, but it was along the lines of think about how you speak to yourself in your head when you make a mistake compared to how you might speak to someone else. Generally, we're going to be kinder and more understanding when someone else makes a mistake and try and help them.
Yeah.
So be like that with yourself. And like, yeah, say we've just recorded this now. I accidentally recorded a time lapse instead of a video, right? So at the end of it, we do have a time lapse. Right? So like, fuck it. It's not that bad. The first episode we recorded, we tried to do too much with the cameras, so we don't have a video.
Mm.
We've done this one. I've accidentally recorded a time lapse. but fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. It's like
We've got the audio. I'm really happy with what we've spoken about today. I think it was a good topic and we've handled it quite well. There's probably a lot more things we can still talk about. But this we need to put these type of things we're talking about. You need to put them into practice for it to feel the benefit and to see the benefit. Like one big thing when you're talking about sitting here and doing it is doing what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, because the amount of times we spoke about certain things, and it's like you just have to do it.
Just do it.
Just fucking, if you feel like you want to do something, just fucking get on with it.
We basically need to commit to say that we're going to do this twice a week for a year, 100 episodes, and like ideally
That's
we
what
want to
we've
go
been doing
past
anyway.
there, but understand that like things take time.
But yeah,
They don't go to plan all the time. Like
And
we've
they-
set up the light, we've set the fucking thing up to record it. It didn't record, but fuck it.
like you don't start off at the top. You start from the bottom and you work your way up. And
Yeah.
hopefully people just.
But now you know that.
Yeah.
Now you know that thing does time lapse recording, and that you need to watch out for if it doesn't have a counter on the screen like that there's a problem. Yeah, and using this equipment and learning it and learning the editing and everything like that has been a big learning curve for me. I thought that it would be easier than it is, and it's time consuming as well. I thought it would be quicker, and I thought it would be easier. But I've had to learn different software. I've had to try and understand problems I've had with SD cards. I've had to start learning Logic, mixing, what file types work with my computer and what file size they're going to be, what works with the platform we're using to upload. Like there's so many things that are kind of
so many factors.
You can't just watch a YouTube video. But it's the same with like when I bought an NFT for the first time.
Yeah.
The way that
I couldn't explain it to you. I had to say, you have to do this.
just put some money in and start fucking about.
You were like, but I need you to walk me through it. And it's like, you need to buy it so for me to walk you through it.
Yeah. And I feel like doing something for real is the best way to learn it. Yeah, you can go on demo accounts and you can learn shit like
It's
on
like
trials.
It's like university. There's only so much you can learn at university. You have to just fucking go out and do the job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so obviously with certain jobs, you really need. But with some jobs, you don't need uni in it. Like, you could go to the job and just fucking work it out.
Like a heart surgeon.
Yeah. Is this right?
Just fucking work it out, mate. 'Cause someone worked it out to begin with, didn't they?
Just got to go through a few bodies.
Yeah, someone had to go through a couple bodies to work that out.
Yeah. Fucking hell. But I'm fucking happy with this episode.
I don't really have much more I can say.
Yeah. Nah, that's good.
I mean, we kind of spoke about a lot of things, but I think if we just reiterate some of these points, because we kind of didn't touch on completely everything, but taking risks while you can, while you're young, and if you're able-bodied and you're fit and you can live like shit, and you can save money.
That's like the life that I'm living at the moment. I'm literally taking risks every day, because I can. But I'm trying to live the most frugally as possible, not spending any money on myself.
Yeah.
Apart from my food, that's the one thing. But I've sorted that now.
Mm-hmm.
And just putting everything into risk investment, because you need to be doing that, innit?
You need to be investing 100%. I think
the way that I do it is
the way that you do it is too risky.
I'm too risky with it, but I'm like, fuck, I know it's going to pay out. I know it's going to pay off.
You can make a few little changes that would make yours a lot less risky.
Yeah.
But basically, for example, say I said in my life I was like, did this blip and then I went curved upwards. That where that curve is now is fucking way higher than where the blip was. Like 3 times higher, say. And what I mean is like, I am so glad that happened there and not here. because the way that this curve is going, it's just going to keep going higher. Say, for example, in 20 years, say, like, I'm married with kids. Yeah, right? So fucking it's a long way off. Just learn how to look after myself, pretty much.
Yeah.
And say I'm in that situation. Imagine I fucked up then and only learnt that then.
That's what
That's why I am grateful that I learnt that at a younger stage, because now I'm looking at people, and I know a guy who has gone to uni to become a dentist, and he's had the most shielded, fucking cocooned, wrapped in cotton wool upbringing, to where he didn't even try alcohol until he got to uni. And then he went through that stage of fucking partying. And I look at him and I'm just like I'm the same age as him. And if I spoke to him now, and I spoke to him like a little while back, and I just remember thinking, like, fucking hell, mate, you're like a 15-year-old compared to me. You seem like you've just gone into year 11.
Yeah. But that is another
Like, you
thing.
haven't been through any shit. You haven't become hardened in any way. You need money? Ring your dad.
Yeah.
You need food? Ring your dad. Need travel? Ring your dad. Need a car? Ring your dad. It's like, if you can just ring your dad every time you need anything,
what are you learning?
how the fuck are you going to ever learn to do things yourself? You need to, and I've said that to my dad. I said, like, thanks for being such a dickhead to me, because now I actually know how to deal with fucking bad situations. Like, 7:30 in Ireland, and we're staying in a hotel.
Grateful for.
He tried to throw a coconut at me, and then I went to block it with a chair, and then he tried to say I was going to hit him with the chair. And I was just like, right, okay, I'll see you later. And then like, just little things, like, I had to go from there to a coach station. I was waiting for the coach, and I really needed a toilet. And there was a hotel opposite. So I went in, and I said something like, I've got a reservation. Can I just pop to the toilet? I said, I'm just waiting for someone to come so we can check in. They were like, yeah. Took my bag, and I went to the toilet, got changed, came back out, and then I just left. Like, they was expecting me to check in.
So you just fucking...
So, like, I lied, didn't like, I said,
okay, yeah.
Like, because they probably weren't just going to let me.
Oh yeah, just
come in
and do your thing. And start.
Yeah. Because I was basically just a homeless guy off the street, pretty much. Like, I didn't have anywhere to live.
Why did more homeless people do that?
Well, maybe I didn't look homeless. But yeah, just kind of, like, that's not a big thing. That's not a hard thing to do. Like, my dad told me something about when he was like, he had no money, and I was saying I was hungry. And he walked into a takeaway with a stone and said, I don't know how true this is, but he's told me he did this. That he walked in there with a stone and was like, I ordered food in there last night, mate, and this was in there. Like, I ordered chips. He's like, my fucking baby could have eaten that. Like, a stone.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to fucking do about it?
Yeah.
He says that happened. I don't know whether that's from some movie and I've fucking never seen it. And, like, knowing the bullshit that comes out of his mouth, that's probably, like, what it was. But just, like, not being wavered by, like, cool, I'm in the middle of fucking Ireland. I need to get a coach. I need the toilet. Like, there's a toilet. I'm going to work out how to fucking use it.
Yeah.
Like, and just not, some people might have been shy and not really gone in there and said anything. And I don't know, maybe again, it's not a great example.
Not I can't, but how? How can I? I'm fucked.
Just working out how. Yeah.
There's some way around it.
Yeah. How can I? That's the thing. If there's a will, there's a way. And that is really true. If you fucking need to get something done, like, it's getting done.
And until you get put in that position, like, certain men just don't. Like you say, cool dad. And they're never put in that position where they have to fucking fend for themselves and work something out when they've got nothing.
Yeah.
They're never put in that position. fucking hell. But that is one thing. Like, the stress of it is just unbelievable when you're in that situation where you don't know what the fuck to do. But
It's
then
horrible.
when you get through it, that feeling is just like so much better. It's like owing
Mm.
someone money for a long time and paying them off.
Mm.
And you're like, oh, finally, I've finally got that weight off my shoulder.
Yeah.
It's just like, not a lot beats it. It just feels so fucking good. And then to get to the point where you don't have anything, and it's like, oh, I don't owe anyone money now. That's just like the best thing ever.
It is a good feeling. But the only other thing I'd probably add to this is be ready to make mistakes and face failures.
Yeah, like bring them
It's
on.
going to happen.
Bring them on.
Don't be scared of it. Shit happens. Things don't go to plan. Just get on with it.
Might take, and don't be like, oh, like if you feel shit, just take the day to feel shit, and then tomorrow just be like, I'm not doing this no more. Boom. Where am I attacking this from?
There's nothing wrong with just like your body will tell you.
Because I would have moped about for fucking ages, like before, like what happened to me last week. I would have moped about and fucking be like, ooh. But I just took a couple days to myself, and that was it, and I'm back to normal again.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I've moved back a step, but how am I going to move forward again? And I'm starting from here again. But I'm not even back that far. Like I was way behind it. Like,
so you can't even call that a step
yeah,
back.
that's what I mean. It's not. It's a tiny little step back. But to me, it felt at the time. It felt like do you know when you're working so hard to get somewhere and then you're taking a step back after step back? It's like I've got to make all their moves again. But fuck it, like learn from it and do better next time.
Things happen, mate. And the thing you got to remember is that your body is never wrong. If you're tired, you probably need more sleep. If you're hungry, you need food. If you're stressed, you need to identify what's stressing you out. Like, your body's not wrong. Listen to your body. And, like, have a good relationship with your body where you understand what's going on.
I feel like I've come with leaps and bounds with sort of understanding certain things. I can sort of pick out, oh, what is this? But I do. It's actually being able to ask that question, why is that, and being able to sort of pick certain things out. It's like, just for instance, when I found out that coffee gives me anxiety, I drink coffee every day, but then caffeine, sorry, and then I'd feel so anxious, and then it's just like finding that what is the problem and fucking fixing it, and not. I've got loads better at finding that problem and attacking it.
That's a good start. Just being able to identify it.
Boom.
Should we wrap it up there?
Wrap it up there, brother.
I think that was nice.
That was nice. Thanks for listening, people.
Hopefully people found something valuable from that.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't give you a fucking 10-step process on how to do it.
It's a bit fucking all over the place, but this is what you're gonna get.
This is it. This is it.
This is what you're gonna get from us. Fucking.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Until next time.